and welcome to Love Island the morning after, the only official Love Island podcast.
Happy Wednesday. We are here today to dissect everything from, it feels like episode 80 because so much has happened.
I feel like I've come at the right time. Like I said, week 2. Week 1, okay, but week 2, that's when everyone's comfortable, they're being their full self and they're going for it, and I love it.
And as always, you'll have myself, Indiyah Polack, and the lovely Amy Hart to dissect all the drama that's going to be happening all season. And as you guys know, we are both ex-Islanders, so we really know what's going on and what it's like in there.
And this week, all week, we are joined by the wonderful Mariam Musa. How much are you loving it?
Listen, week 2, when I tell you, it's everything I could have asked for in a season, in a series of Love Island. They are really giving everything. I'm excited. I don't know how to explain myself. It's just so good right now.
I have decided to steal this boy because from the moment kind of we got into the villa, there's been a connection there. So the boy I've decided to steal is Ayo.
Well, this morning we've got a big love square to talk about, so let's dive right in. We've got a little wife swap and it was a little bit keys in the fruit bowl. You know? They picked those keys out and got each other's partners. And some were happy, some were, here's what you could have won.
I kind of feel like it is what it is. What goes around comes around. Like,
Ooh, bit
I'm not
karma.
gonna lie. Like, I feel like it was fair game. We obviously saw Mimi steal Ayo back, right? And I think it's fair game. Like, in the first week, I feel like she let Umar do what she needs to do, and you know, she was very chilled with it. She didn't get too irate. She got a bit emotional, but she let him do what he wanted to do. And I felt like watching it yesterday was like, oh wow, Umar's very emotional. But I just feel like let Mimi do her thing, like the way she let you do her thing. And I was happy for her. I think it's every man for themselves. I'm sorry. If you like him, go for it.
And it's not like Mimi was like, I've got an idea. Can everyone come to the fire pit, please?
Yeah.
I would like to steal someone's man. The only reason she was one of the single ones that had to steal was because Umar stole her man.
So I think she was kind of just like reclaiming her like power back. Like she had him at the start. She didn't really get a chance to like, I'm not gonna lie, those in-bed cuddles really do mean a lot, and they really do add to the relationship when you're getting to know someone. So I feel like in Mimi's defense, she was like, you know what, I can't actually get to know this guy unless I couple up with him, because we need those bedtime chats. We need that close, intimate time. In Umar's defense, I don't think Umar is being a mean girl or having... All her energy is directed at the right person, and it's Ayo. Because I feel like Ayo, a little bit, he's giving me people pleaser vibes. Because it's like, I'll be honest, we're going into week 2 now. I know it's a very heavy environment, it's fast paced, feelings, emotions are heightened, but you've shared a kiss with both of these ladies. I'm telling you, he knows who he wants by now.
Absolutely.
It doesn't take that long to figure out who you're more drawn to. Like, we can even see it from the viewer's perspective. Those slow kisses that him and Mimi shared.
Listen.
Me and Mariam were shy. We were like, oh,
it was so sensual. And to me, I just felt like that was serious chemistry. Like, I was watching it like drooling. Like,
we were literally like, oh, this is
a
lot. I think they have a lot of sexual chemistry, but it's not just sexual, like they just vibe. It's a lot more chill, it's a lot more slow. And I feel like Ayo knows that Umar and Mimi are completely different personalities. They're different. I feel like Umar's a bit more confident, outgoing, more
vocal,
very vocal.
How she feels.
And Mimi is the complete opposite, but that doesn't take away from her character, her personality. She's a gorgeous girl. She's just a lot more reserved.
I am loving how Ayo keeps openly admitting, but nobody seems to be clocking on, that he's like, everything I've said to you, I've said to Umar as well. Everything I've said to you, I've said to Mimi as well. He's literally saying the same thing to everyone.
Literally, he's being literal. Like, I'm actually telling you guys the same thing. Turn it on.
But this is my thing, I hate seeing 2 girls fight over a guy, okay? They're not fighting, but they're in a position where they're both like the same guy, and he's not giving them a straightforward answer. And Uma's not a mean girl. She's not the villain in this. I don't think so. I think Ayo's just enjoying having his cake and eating it too.
Absolutely.
And like you said, Indiyah, a guy knows.
A guy knows.
A guy can just ghost you. He can cut you off. They're so quick. We know from experience, if you don't like a girl, you know you don't like a girl. And you know when you do like a girl, you make it very clear. And he's just indulging too much. And I'm getting really frustrated because I just want him to pick. Because if you compare the Harriet, Nicole and Kieran situation, once the big kind of like hoo-ha happened, when both girls were like, who do you like?
Yeah.
And he was just straight. He was like, do you know what? Let me just pick now because it's going to get out of control. And I
absolutely.
feel like Ayo's kind of like, you know when you're underwater and your neck is just
treading water.
And it's like, are you going to sink or swim? And that's either Umar or Mimi. So pick.
Absolutely. I also feel like Ayo needs to like stand his ground a little bit. It's giving me people pleaser vibes. And I feel like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You might be a bit like, oh, I don't know who to pick. Go with your heart. Yeah. If you want to pick Mimi, pick Mimi. And if it's meant to work out with Umar, it will happen. Vice versa. Like, he just needs to stop leading them both on. Like, you can't give two people 100%. It's impossible.
Amy, there was a bit where Umar and Mimi and Ayo had the conversation.
Yes.
So my perspective from that situation was like, okay, Umar, you know when you're the bombshell, right? And you're comfortable, you know people like you, and you're kind of leading the competition of who likes who more. I felt like in that situation for me, Umar wanted validation from Ayo to be like, it's true you like me more, right? Just to be clear. You know, like how the Harriet and Nicole thing happened. So for me, that's why I was a bit like, you could have had this conversation maybe before Mimi and Omar like coupled up, because for me, if you really cared, you would have gone and had that conversation before, cleared it so that anything else happened later, this situation will happen again. But it just felt more like because you wasn't picked, you need that validation again.
Well, I loved how they were sitting actually in a triangle. I love that. Just something for the viewer. I think it's like we learn every week in Love Island. You don't know what is about to happen and people get really comfortable.
Yes.
So Uma, like you say, is walking around like, oh, it's all right, I've got Ayo. And then in the space of a text, she hasn't anymore.
Yes.
And now she's like, oh my God, there's so much I should have said.
Yeah.
And it teaches everyone in that villa, like, you have to say what you think. And we say about other people in the villa, like Samantha, like she's being too full on. Other people are laying it on too thick and stuff. But they're just saying how they feel.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them for that. And Uma probably wishes she'd said how she felt.
Yeah.
Although it's not like Ayo left her voluntarily. So even if she'd said how she felt, this still would have happened, unless, devil's advocate, unless she'd have told Ayo like exactly how she felt, and then he'd said to Mimi, actually, I'll do want to be with Uma. But I don't think he would have done. In week one, things really heated up in the villa. Let's look back at all the pre-love fashion moments brought to you by our headline sponsor, eBay. Joey Essex made a grand entrance, stealing kisses and hearts from three of the girls while wearing a stylish Police cos jacket. Mimi looked stunning in her House of CB dress and fell head over heels for Ayo in his Harley Davidson sleeveless tee, whilst Jess stunned in I Am Gia and a Juna Watanabe Commes des Garçons. And how can we not mention the iconic Red Party? All the Islanders looked incredible in their pre-love fits, with Patsy rocking a red latex dress worn by Georgia Steele in All Stars and Ronnie sporting a red Represent varsity jacket. The Islanders are definitely bringing the red hot heat. Check out eBay for villa-inspired fashion and celebrate a summer of pre-loved style. Fashion fit for a second chance. eBay, sponsors of Love Island. I think a lot of these triangles in there at the moment are like, you have one of the girls that's sort of like girlfriend vibes or fling vibes, and one that's like wifey material. And it's like Harriet and also Uma. It's like that instant, like, bam. It's like that wow. It's that connection. But is it surface level? Is it going to go any further? And then, like you said, with Ayo and Mimi, like, they're really comfortable together. Like, they really connect on a deeper level. And I think, we'll go on to Jess and Ronnie later, but I think with them as well, it's a deeper level connection than what the others are.
And have you noticed when you're talking about like the girlfriend-wife thing, when you think of the couples like Nicole and Harriet and Kieran and now Mimi, Uma and Ayo, Mimi was kind of chilled. Compared to how now Uma's reacting. She's very like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And that was the same with Harriet and Nicole. Nicole was very like chilled. She was like, do what you want. She did get a bit annoyed, but only after he said to her, But Harriet was the one that was very much like explosive. So that is quite interesting. And if you think about it with Jess again, like when we talk about Ronnie, which one's the girlfriend and which one's the wife? Because if we go off of those reactions, you can kind of see who is the girlfriend and then who is the wife. Like, you know, let him do what he wants to do. He'll come back. That's the vibe I'm getting.
But devils.
Oh, I love this.
Here, again, do we think that Umar being more vocal makes her less of the wife?
I do.
But why? Do you not think that she just handles things differently? Like, maybe Umar is just a little bit more confident to be like, actually, no, I'm not going to sit back while she crack on with both of us. I'm going to let you know how I feel, and I don't like being second best. So however you want to handle it, that's fine. But I want you to know I want to handle it my way, and this is what I stand for.
It's hard to agree with that, and only because I feel like she's standing for it a bit more now because she's got the short end of the string.
Yeah.
Because when she was like coupled up with Io, she was a bit resistant. Like, you have to wait a bit for the kisses. You have to do, it wasn't the same energy. And I feel like that's what I mean. Like, from what I know, when you're like the girlfriend or the fling, you're in control. You got the wrapped around your little finger. And then the moment when it's like, you're not, it's like, you want demands now. The demands start coming in. And I think that's the energy I'm getting right now from the girls.
Like we said yesterday, it's a race at the end of the day.
Yes.
And sort of Uma was slightly ahead because she was coupled up with Io. Mimi's now jumped over her and Uma's trying to catch up, and she's at a disadvantage now because she doesn't have that time in bed. She doesn't have like being paired up in challenges. When you're coupled up with someone, like, it's very natural to sit and chat to them about like random stuff, to like, if they're sat on a beanbag, you'll go and grab one and sit with them and stuff. When you're sort of grafting someone, it's very thought out. It's, I'm going to pull them for a chat. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to see how much I like them. So she is now at a disadvantage.
She has to do the grafting if she wants him. Because before, I felt like we saw Io pulling Uma. We saw him spending time with her because they could. It made sense. But now it's Mimi and Io. So Uma, if you want him, you have to be the one to now graft, and it's not going to be handed
but
to you.
But you know what is even different? When Mimi wasn't with Io, she wasn't grafting him.
Do you know what I mean?
She didn't graft him at all.
She chilled.
She just let him do whatever the heck he wanted, because at the end of the day, people always do what they want. In Mimi's defense, it's like, yeah, you do have to graft, but if this guy wants to be with me, he will. So I'm not actually going to chase him around the villa because at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to be with me, he's not going to.
That's true.
Uma probably knows as well, like Io we've seen for the last week, he is interested in whoever is directly in front of him.
No, I'm not going to lie.
He
actually
I agree.
Yeah, and Mimi is going to be in front of him at the moment a lot more than Uma is. So she has got to work twice as hard.
But I don't know. Ladies, would you be working twice as hard? I'd have thrown a towel in and be like, you know what, we've got to run now.
But, I feel like now there's 2 kisses that's happened. It's kind of like, for me, like Indiyah, you were explaining how kisses mean something. It's so much. I get touching, talking, but when you kiss, it means you like her. Kiss her again.
And these aren't pecking. They're doing slow foreplay kisses. Like, it's a big deal.
But it's very easy for us to sit here and say, Uma, you've been treated appallingly by Io. You should let him go. But she doesn't seem to be vibing with Omar. I feel like the Joey connection's gone. There's no other boys in there for her. And as Mimi's text said, in Love Island, you have to be in a couple. And if she's got nobody that she's really vibing with apart from Io, it does leave her vulnerable. So she's got to fight.
Or
it's too close to bed.
Or just go home. Play the game and get to know Omar until when someone comes in. Listen, survival of the fittest. If you
a great show.
See what I did there? But seriously, I genuinely believe that if that was me, I would like, do you know what? It is what it is. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to graft on with Omar. I'll give him a chance because I'm not like that person. But if it's not there, I'm going to wait for my bombshell to come in and Omar, bye-bye, sorry.
And also, Omar actually did pick her. He could have picked Patsy. So like, this person actually wants you. It's not like, I don't know.
Last option.
Last option. Or you just got put together by the public. Like, you were chosen. Be chosen somewhere else. It's okay. I might have found the one in the villa, but there's only one mobile provider that you should be coupled up with, and that's Sky Mobile. They should be your type on paper because they make it all about me, me, me. And who doesn't want that? Sky Mobile lets you upgrade your phone and plan so you can swap it in for a newer model. You can even do the dumping over text.
You're now single, therefore you have been dumped from the island.
Text PAC to 65075 to switch to Sky Mobile today.
Io said that when something happens with a guy, girls get giddy and are desperate to tell their friends. Like, is that you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes,
I literally tell my friends everything. I mean, but sorry, he actually told the boys that he kissed Mimi as well. So it weren't all Mimi. Like, he told the boys. But I think that's quite a normal thing to do. Like, you want someone to share your experiences and be like, oh my God, guess what happened? Like,
and give you advice as well. Because you might not be, sometimes your friends see what you don't see. So it's like, oh, maybe there's a red flag there, Mimi, calm down. But I would tell my friends something simple as, even work, if something irritated me, I'm texting my friend like, babe, I'm so irritated. Like, it's just a natural thing.
Yeah, I think so. And
I think like in the villa, it is very, especially like, we were like the first couple to go to the hideaway. So when you come back, everyone's like, I want to know. Like,
what happened?
Right, let's talk about Patsy. She was not picked by Omar, sadly for her.
And she said it.
Yeah. She's such a confident girl. I love it. She said, you know, I have better chats with him than Uma does.
Yeah.
Do we rate that?
She said something right near the beginning of the season, like, I'm the oldest here, but doesn't mean I'm gonna
be the mum.
Be the mum. So I feel like because of that, she's not letting whatever situation knock her down.
Yeah.
Like, and I really rate her for that.
Yeah.
I really like Patsy. I just feel like, unfortunately, right now, there isn't someone in there that's seen her as, I want Patsy. And
I really hope someone does come in with just eyes for Patsy.
Same.
She's a great support to everyone else in the villa.
She is. She actually is.
In a sort of motherly way. Like, it comes to someone. Someone has to be the mum of the villa, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like there's genuine friendships in there?
Not at this moment. The boys have more loyalties, but the girls, no.
No, I don't know who the cliques are yet.
So I think one of like the closest groups, so when we were on After Sun, Jess said she was closest with Nicole and Samantha, and then she said last episode that she was really good friends with Uma.
Yeah.
But she said about, you make sure you tell her. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I personally wasn't really a fan of it because I understand that you have girl code and like whatever. But in the villa, we're 2 weeks in. Yeah, I have respect for you as, a fellow lady. Like, we're cool. But no one in there is actually friends.
Yeah.
You're here for love. Yeah. And it's actually not your business or place to be snitching. Like, Mimi told you that in confidence.
Yes,
so is it because Mimi's not your best friend, now you don't hold what she's saying as in, like, you know what, I'm going to hold it to my heart?
Is it mean? Guys,
I don't like that. That's not very girly for you to actually chat Mimi's business.
You.
She told you in confidence.
Yeah, and I was going to say that. Is it mean to say, like, because she's been very, like, girl's girl, like, with her approach with Harriet and all stuff like that, maybe I feel like this approach for me when I watched yesterday was like, okay, now I think maybe overdoing it a little bit. Like, I feel like there's certain things that you don't need to have an opinion on, or you don't need to feel that you have to say something, you know? So that's what I got. It was just giving, trying to do girls go a bit too
like
much.
Even when Io and Mimi were kissing on Jess, obviously Uma was like not feeling it, and then she came over and it was kind of like, when like the head teacher comes over, like to come over and watch and see what's going on, it's just sort of like, just mind your business.
Just mind your business.
Just mind your business.
Do you think so? People say on Instagram, like, if sharing my story, and I do this, if sharing my story can help just one person. Jess is like, if sharing my experience, being in a love triangle can help anyone, I will do it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Jess, the ultimate girls girl. I love her. You know I do.
She's a lovely girl. I like how she's carried herself.
So one thing that really struck me last night, and I'm a stickler for the Love Island details, and I like to try and pick up on other things as well. One thing I really noticed, so yesterday I was very like, I think Ronnie just likes Harriet. I think he's stringing Jess along because they're coupled up and he has to share a bed with her and stuff, and I think he's made his mind up on Harriet. However, in a lot of the episode tonight, in the background of other people's chats, I was seeing like them on one beanbag, them cuddled up together chatting, them snogging in bed. And I was like, oh, okay, there is hope for this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't love the way that Ronnie is dealing with it, especially at the end when he was like, I can't believe I'm getting away with this. I was like, no, like, you shouldn't be enjoying playing them off against each other. Although, I mean, he probably loves it. But I'm like, no, like, it is going to be quite hard for the girls. For Jess, like, seeing Harriet come in and keep taking her man, and for Harriet thinking, you're telling me all this stuff. Although, I'd also like to say, whilst I have the mic, when he said, I've been thinking about you all night, he did not say, Harriet, I've been thinking about you all night. He said, I can't sleep. She said, have you been thinking about me? And he went, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
He couldn't be like, no, just the air conditioning was really loud.
Yeah.
No, but he could have been like, it's a bit cheeky. There's a way.
But I didn't like the way that then Harriet went up to Jess and said, he told me that he's been thinking about me all night. I'm like, no, I don't think he did.
But don't you think that shows the way how this is what I mean about how guys and girls are.
Yeah.
When a guy says something, the way we might interpret it, because it's their actions, put your arm around me, I'm going to start thinking, he likes me.
Yeah.
It's the same way with maybe just by agreeing, you're already thinking, like, do you know what I mean? And she's gone to Jess saying, he said that. Maybe she didn't mean it in a way where it's like, I've made it up. But sometimes it just happens. You just think how they respond, even what they say. Then you're thinking, oh, he does like me. And he said this. Like,
at the end of the day, he said yes. So it doesn't matter if he was like,
I think it was just like an off-the-cuff banter.
Defo. But he still said yes.
Yeah.
He still said yes. And I feel like if I was in that position and I had someone I was speaking to and I heard they said yes, you still say yes.
Yeah.
Like, you could have been like, oh, cheeky girl, or whatever it is to just like sway it off. Especially, how gossip gets around that villa. Like, it's a bit Chinese whispers, you know what I mean? But knowing that, like, you're on the naughty step with Jess, so don't even give any of that Harriet situation, like, any energy. So
Harriet, I don't know how Harriet's coping, because this is going to be her second triangle. And if she isn't picked, what happens then? Do you know what I mean? Because first it was with Kieran. Now she's here with Ronnie. So it's like, now the way Ronnie's acting, I'm not sure if he's going to pick Harriet. It's giving
I don't
more
think he will.
Jess.
Do you know what? Yesterday morning, I was convinced that he was going to pick Harriet.
Yeah.
But then seeing all those like little moments, and I think we only see an hour of 24 hours, but it's those little bits you see in the background that are the clues to the mystery.
Do you know what I want to know now? Because we know what Jess is like. She's a confrontational babe.
Yeah.
And she's going to pull Ronnie.
Yeah.
And she's going to be like, what was that about? What did you say?
Yeah.
And what if he's like, what you said?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. She asked me if I've been thinking about her.
Yeah.
I got nervous and said yes.
Yeah.
And then it all kicks off.
But she doesn't want a boy. She wants a man, and a man will stand on business and say no.
True.
Yeah.
True. No, that is very true, Mariam.
Yeah,
that
because
is
why
true.
are you letting her sway you? If you weren't thinking
It's
about
true.
her, you weren't thinking
You
about her.
weren't thinking about her
Yeah.
straight. Like, yeah, literally, you don't need to massage her ego. If you're not feeling her, you're not feeling her.
Yeah.
Period.
So, last night's episode finished with our first vote of the series. It's so exciting. Obviously, the vote's now closed because it closed last night. So, the results will be in. Who do you think will be voted the favourite couple?
Ooh, it's a tough one.
I've got my top three.
Okay.
So I think the top three are going to be Joey and Samantha.
Yeah.
Just because I think Joey's a very popular guy.
Yeah.
I think Twitter loves Mimi. I love Mimi too,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So Twitter with Mimi. And then I also think just because how safe and secure Nicole and Kieran are, those are the top three.
Yeah,
I
a
think
lot of
will
people
be.
like Nicole and Kieran. Actually, when we were at Aftersun on Sunday, they
The
got
crowd
a
were
really,
going
really
wild.
good
Yeah, because
reception.
we don't want toxic love.
No,
we want
we're
peace.
leaving that in the past. We do not want toxic love.
Yeah, we want normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you agree? Top three?
Top three. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Top three.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love a bit of Jess and Ronnie in there, but whatevs.
Yeah.
Who do you think's in danger?
For me, unfortunately, I think it's Patsy and Manveer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Patsy and
Yeah.
Manveer.
Or maybe Sean and Harriet.
Yes.
Maybe Sean and Harriet.
And maybe, I feel like Umar's got a favourite, but because I don't think people know Omar that well.
It's too soon.
It could go either way.
I don't think, although Umar is like, people love Umar, I'm not sure she's strong enough to get a vote away from someone like Nicole and Kieran or Mimi and Io.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck to everyone.
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone. And on that note, guys, have a fantastic morning. Mariam, thank you for joining us again this morning. And we will all be back tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Don't forget to subscribe. You get a new episode delivered to your device every single morning. And if your friends love Love Island, tell them about us and bring them into the party.
Yes. Bye,
See you
guys.
later.